All right. Hello. Welcome back. So this will be the second rebuttal, which is done by the pro in this case. So this is also the slightly harder one because we have to defend our own case and then go and attack the other case. So we'll start with a roadmap, which is that we'll start on the pro case, then go and attack the con. So starting on the pro flow, here we go. On the pro case, start on the first contention of incarceration. Extend our first point, which is that borrowers who are incarcerated are forced into default in the status quo. This means that they are forced to be unable to pay their loans. It's because there's very little communication with the outside world. They can't get resources to help them access any programs that help them out. And so basically they have no option but to default. Their first response here is that the status quo solves through a program called Fresh Start. But remember, that doesn't help because the programs, that even if they exist now and they're designed to help these people, people in prison can't actually access those programs. That's what our evidence is telling you. And then extend the Castro 22 evidence, our second subpoint, which says that default causes people to lose access to the Pell Grant, which means that they can't fund further education. Their response here, their number 2 point, was that Congress restored the Pell Grant to people in prison, and we agree, but that didn't restore access to people who are in default. So the pro is about getting people out of default to actually get them access to the Pell Grant again. So, and their argument doesn't help with that. They're just saying people in prison get it. They don't tell you people in prison in default also get it. Only the pro helps those people. And then on their third point about spending is remember that the resources are already there. There's already systems in place to help these people get education. It's just a question of eligibility. It's not a question of spending. Go down to the very bottom and extend our Dewey and Malongu evidence, the impact evidence, the last point, which says that increase in education reduces poverty and reduces recidivism, which is recommitting crimes. Their response here is that we shouldn't help people because they might have done something really, really bad. That might be why they're in prison. Basically, they're just saying crime is bad. We agree. That's why we're reducing crime by increasing education. So vote pro if you want to vote against crime. Go to the second contention, which is about teachers. Extend our first a piece of evidence, which is the Ballinger 23 evidence that says that there's 50,000 teacher vacancies right now in the status quo. This is proof that the systems they tell you about in their first two responses that the status quo solves, those programs aren't working, because if they were, we wouldn't have these vacancies right now. Our evidence is also more recent, so prefer our evidence here. And then they say tuition goes up, so we have fewer future teachers, but that's not what we're arguing. Extend the Fang and the Keeney evidence, which both state that it's about retaining the teachers that we have now, not recruiting future new teachers. And the reason why is because retaining the teachers we have now gives us more experienced teachers in the long run. That's what we care about. So an increase in tuition doesn't trade off with that, because these are people who already went through college. And then the last part about it's about payment, not about loans. We still solve some of the problem. Solving some is better than solving none, so you still vote pro. Go over to the con case. On the con case, at the top on inflation, on the A subpoint about the deficit, first turn, loan forgiveness actually boosts the economy and has no impact on the deficit, from Fulweiler et al. 18. Student debt cancellation results in an increase in GDP, a decrease in the average unemployment rate, and little to no inflationary pressure over the 10-year horizon. Estimates for new GDP range from $86 billion to $108 billion per year, and the increase is accompanied by new job creation that peaks to 1.55 million additional new jobs per year. That would increase economic activity in the short run with moderate consequences on the federal deficit. Second, this decreases the deficit because when there's more jobs, more people are paying taxes, the government takes in more money, and so that reduces the deficit. And third, is actually go down to the C subpoint here about consumer spending and poverty. First, my response is that cancellation leads to saving, not spending. It's from Conksall and Bustamante 22. Cancellation will increase people's wealth. However, there's very little evidence that increases in wealth have led to higher spending. Households have continued to build up wealth, and these positive developments will dull any new spending impact from debt cancellation. Research about the pandemic suggests that reduction in debt among low-income households further supports savings without increasing current spending, as debt reduction enables borrowers to service other debts. And second, this turns their case because it says that we don't increase spending, so we don't increase inflation, but the inflation that's there isn't going to hurt people as much because we increase their savings. So, vote pro.